guys, we are live on SFeatleyTV. So it's a preview to Arsenal versus Wolves at the Molineux. I've got Stu with me here. How you doing, my friend?
Back again, can't keep me away. Yeah, I'm all right.
Nah.
We went for a curry after the game last night, so I indulged a bit too much.
Oof, you're probably feeling the effects afterwards, aren't you?
Yeah, it's a good job I was off today, but then having the kids to watch all morning. Though it's been one of them days, but
yeah.
story.
Big up Footy Tom talks football. Big up, mate. Like I said, mate, it's all good, man. It's just with things that have been going on in my life right now in this minute, it's been a struggle. So it just probably just got it probably just wasn't you. There was also last night people giving me grief, so it just all got on top of us. But like, yeah, we're all cool, man. So we're all good. So we're starting. Don't worry about it. Let's go. Arsenal beat Wolves, take two. This time at the Emirates Stadium. Right, it's like we're playing the Champions League, like all 2 legs in space in 2 weeks. You know what I mean? I wish we were, but there you go. I mean, Wolves obviously their last 2 games. I'll look at obviously from their last time we played them. We've played, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Leicester and Tottenham, and 2 very good wins. Tottenham, I would say, is the more comfortable win.
Yeah.
What did you make? What did you make of that? Yeah, no worries, man.
The Spurs game was the better of the 2, without doubt. I mean, after we played you last time, we were all kind of a bit deflated after how it ended, and then that whole nonsense of Neves and the whole over celebrating stuff, which is. I mean, I said on the review show at the time that it was all a bit blown out of proportion, but then they carried on talking about it, and then we thought, well, just shut up and just give us a performance. And then Spurs were a joke against us on that day. I mean, we fully exploited them. It could have been 4 or 5, to be honest. So then again, everyone's all hyped up again, and whenever we get hyped up again about anything at all, it invariably goes wrong. And then you come to the match yesterday under the most ridiculous weather conditions I've ever seen at football. I mean, we were walking from the pub to the ground. I was absolutely soaked through, and it's a 5-minute walk. And it was even torrential rain. It was almost like hail. The size of the raindrops were like hail. It was ridiculous, which doesn't excuse the performance at all. Leicester played really well, and they probably should have got something out of the game. But we've conceded 1 goal from open play in the last 12 now. And that's got mainly through to Jose Sarr and Kilman and Cody and Sait, whatever. But we never win games like that normally. If we have to be at our absolute best for at least 6 of the 11 to win games, and to win one ugly for a change yesterday was very impressive. And I'm quite looking forward to Thursday now.
Yeah. I'm just quickly putting this quick question in. Should Pepe start for the game against Wolves? That's the big question I'm asking. Obviously, I'm going to be asking, and I'm doing a poll. I've already done one on Twitter, and it's quite a close call actually. I thought it would be a lot of people. I thought all the people that supports Arteta will be jumping up and down saying no, you can't pick him, and this, that, and all the other. But it's quite a close call actually. So, but yeah, I'll put that in the chat. So if you can answer that, big up. If you can hit that like and share button, it'd be really helpful. And yes, but I appreciate everyone that is watching right now as always. I think it was not. Obviously, we saw against against when he played Arsenal, and big up, Luke. When he saw against Arsenal, obviously it became a very scrappy game. We got a scrappy goal, I'd say, off a set piece, which was nicely converted by Gabriel. And obviously, once we got our red card, it was more our backs to the wall, and we had to sort of grind out a win. Now, usually that was where I'd say we would bottle it because that's not Arsenal. We don't usually have to fight hard for things, but it was actually nice to see that we did actually stood up to the test. And I know it was only for like 20-30 minutes, but at least we showed some character and fight, and bodies were being put on the line and everything like that. So from an Arsenal perspective, it was nice to see. Now, obviously, we've played Brentford only, and we got a 2-1 win. I think we should have been 3 or 4-0 up in that game, to be honest. We lacked that cutting edge in the first half, in the final third. The second half, I think we once we scored, they opened up a little more, and it gave us a little bit more freedom. Pepe had a good impact off the bench, but in the end, it was the scoreline really doesn't tell the story of the game. The scoreline makes it look like it was a tight game. It wasn't. It was complete domination. Brentford came there. They were playing 3-5-2. It was basically a 5-4-1, right? Where basically they were playing a back five, a midfield four, and one DM as their outlet, and that was it. So yeah, it was man. It was definitely like a dominant victory for us, and just what the worrying thing is that up front in our lack of clinical finishing up front, which is why I'm asking the question about Pepe. And if looking from the outside and looking from Pepe as Pepe as a player, would you, if you're the Arsenal manager and you're looking at Pepe going into like this game, knowing that Lacazette's not scoring goals and Pepe does have the ability to try and play up front as a striker, or maybe even put Martinelli there, or for example, would you try and switch it around to try and see something different?
I mean, I've been massively disappointed with Pepe anyway since he came. I mean, maybe his reputation was a bit too high for what I've seen of him, but after that performance that Lacazette put up against us the other week, I can't see how anyone being brought into the team in place of him would be a bad thing. Really, he doesn't offer anything to me, and he's nothing to be feared about, which is mental. Really, when you think about
that tells you a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we're not bothered about him. I mean, if he lines up in the starting lineup after the game at Molineux, then bring it on, because Kilman just had him the whole game.
I mean, at the minute we've got 13 votes in this, 77% say no, 23% say yes. At the moment, if people could keep voting up, big up, Josh. I hope you're well, my bro. Good. I heard about your exams, man. Really, really good. I'm glad that you got. I think it was. Did you say A-level stars? I believe. So, big up for yourself for that, man. So, yeah. Now you got more time to do streaming, ain't you? So there you go. Like it's all win-wins. Steven, please do a combined team. We will do a combined 11. Don't worry about that. We'll get that done at some point during the stream. Luca, what do you say about Pepe? What would you do as an Arsenal manager? Would you consider playing him on the right or trying him up front for this game? Do you feel he needs to be in the side?
For me, right, I'd personally maybe play Pepe in this game, because we talked about this on our channel earlier when we went live at 1 o'clock. I'd play maybe Pepe in this game because he played well when he came on Saturday in the win against Brentford. And for me, it all depends what Mikel Arteta does with the team, how he's going to play, because he's probably going to start Smith Rowe on the left-hand side. So I would play Pepe on the right. Then means you would have to play Cedric. I would prefer Tomiyasu in this game because Arteta did rest him for the Brentford game on Saturday, and it makes him fresh for the game against Wolves. So I would play someone like Tomiyasu, but I think he's going to play Cedric. So if you play Cedric, then you've got to play Nicolas Pepe because it worked against Sunderland in the Carabao Cup. And yes, I know it was only against Sunderland, but still, it still worked. And for me, you've got to start Pepe in this team because it will give him confidence. Yes, he's not been great recently. Yes, he hasn't shown what he's capable of, but you give him a run of games, he can show that. And he played very well when he came on against Brentford.
Yeah, I hear that, and I think it definitely deserves a chance. For for this game. Footy Tom talks football. I don't think Pepe should start. I definitely hear that. I think it also depends if you're going to play him on the right. It depends on also who you play as a right wing back. For example, Sait made a very good point here. Cedric, you'd have to play Cedric on the right if you're playing Pepe, because otherwise Pepe's ineffective. Because Tomiyasu doesn't get up forward and overlap, and Pepe loves an overlapping runner. It really gives him more space because the defender, the right wing back, has to focus on the overlapping runner as well as Pepe himself, which then frees up space for him to do what he needs to do. So, if you could, Tommy, if you could ask, if you could say why you wouldn't start Pepe, it'd be. I'd love to hear. What would you think? If we get time at the end, we will put the link in the chat, and everyone else can have their time to come on. Big Josh, Static, Footy Tom talks football. Every one of you are more than willing to have their say. Because I'm always about that. At the moment now, 20 votes, 80%. We've got 20 votes, people, but we've only got 7 likes already. So come on, if we hit the vote button, let's hit that like button as well. Come on, you know where it's at. My prediction is Arsenal 0, Wolves 1. I think Wolves will sneak a late winner. Do you see that, Stu? Do you see that coming? Wolves' way.
It's not really our way of doing things, sneaking late winners, really. I mean, we had a lot of that under Nuno, to be honest. In the last couple of games against Spurs and Leicester, the last two we've scored in the first 10 minutes, which is unheard of, really. I think the game's going to have a bit. I'd be astonished if no one is sent off after what happened last time, and this kind of ridiculous rivalry that they've tried to develop between them. I'd take a draw now.
Wow.
Honestly, I'd take just because of.
I'm not even using a green screen. Look.
Wow.
I mean,
I'm doing that often, man. Sorry. Go on, carry on, man. I'm done.
I mean, if I'd take a draw now, just because we went into this month saying the games that we had, what would your points total be? And I said I'd be, if we came out with 6 or 7, I'd be pretty pleased with that. We've got 6 already. We've got you on Thursday and then West Ham on Sunday. If we can get another 2, would I be happy with 2 points or with greedy with 4? I can't see us pushing that far. I mean, when I said before, the Champions League is not an option. We're not going to get top 4. That's silliness. But to the actual question, late winner, I'd be amazed, especially because of how dead on their feet they were yesterday. I mean, everyone pretty much to a man was slumped on the sodden grass.
But I will just say, you're saying it's not your way, and it brings me to Static's question, because you just reminded me to ask. Do you think Wolves will make a different approach though to try and win this game?
I think they'll do what they did against Spurs and to an extent yesterday, and then they'll go with a 3 midfield rather than the 3 up front, at least to start with. So you'll have the midfield 3 of Neves, Dendoncker, and Moutinho, just because it seems to have settled us down a bit, because we were being like overrun in midfield for whatever reason. So he kind of shored it up, and the fact that we had no wingers either, like I said before, we had one winger in Podence, and that was it. So moving Podence in the middle, and he was brilliant yesterday. So
yeah, I was impressed with his performance.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday was probably the best performance he's had in a Wolves shirt. Probably, he was everywhere, and he didn't. Yeah, he was being a bit soft sometimes, same as Ait Nouri throwing himself on the ground, which you don't really want to see that. But I think that it'll more likely be 5 in midfield and 2 up top rather than 3-4-3. And I think we'll go for containing more than all-out attack. That's what I'd imagine we'd do.
Yeah, I mean, I hear that absolutely. Big up Mike Green as well. Soft set and as well. Big up Adam Talks F1. If you are into F1, don't forget the F1 channel as well. I'll probably drop the link into the chat for that. Give me a second. I'll drop the link in the chat for that. So if you can go and sub to them, sub to that channel as well, it really does help. We're at 52 subs on that, so we're 48 away from our first 100. So if you can get us to 100 before the start of the season, which is 18th of March, it'd be really nice to get us off and running. So if you can do that and you like F1 and you want to see me rant about F1 as well, please do, because I'm sure I'm going to be doing that at some point. But yeah, Luca, like, do you think Arsenal, like, with our fight with top four, do you think, like, just take for the top four race, and focus on the game? Do you think Arsenal have what it takes to get the win against Wolves at the Emirates, despite, especially after what we did against Wolves at the Molineux?
To be honest, right, it all depends how we perform on the pitch, because Wolves have been great recently. Like, they've bounced back from that defeat against when we beat them at Molineux a couple of weeks ago. Wolves have got a good record at the Emirates. I think the last time, I don't know, True Guna told me yesterday, or someone told me that that Wolves have not lost to Arsenal at the Emirates since I think it was 2012. I'm not 100% sure. I could be wrong. And for me, it's going to be a difficult game. Wolves are going to might go with the same formation as what Stu said in that Spurs game. And I watched the highlights in that game, and you saw the way Wolves play. Wolves play like that, like they did against Tottenham. And we don't perform well, then Wolves could be a long Thursday night. And for me, we've got to win this game, because I know we talked about this before, Stephen, and I don't really want to get into too much detail about it. Like, if we win this game, it puts us into a decent position, because
just focus on the game. We'll get to the top four in a minute. Do you think Arsenal will have
the game in general? What I would like to see is I would like us to go there and put a decent performance. I want us to put a great performance. Like, I want a performance like we did against Tottenham at the Emirates at the start of the season. I want a performance like that at the start of the season. And it all depends, because we've got players to do that, okay? Never mind about, yes, I know that we don't have the squad depth because we didn't strengthen anyone in the January transfer window, but we've got players, okay? Now, we've got pretty much a fully fit squad. The only 11 players we've got players back from COVID and African Cup of Nations now. So Pepe, for me, he's an option to bring on the bench. You've got Nketiah as well. You've got Lacazette. You've got the likes of midfield who could provide that. Odegaard, Smith Rowe, Saka as well. So we've got a lot of options, and I want to see a decent performance against Wolves. I don't want us to be like a scrappy win. Like, don't get me wrong, I would take anything than 3. I would love to get 3 points against Wolves, but am I confident going to this game? I'm not confident, but I want to be confident. But I'm gonna have to go with my guns, man. I've got this bad feeling about Thursday, man. I hope I'm proved wrong, and I'd like to be proved wrong, but I've got a feeling Wolves are gonna win. I've got a feeling Wolves are gonna win this, man. You know what I mean? I just
you said that though against the Molineux though, and
I did.
We actually, to be fair, we played really well.
We played well in that game, but we rode our luck at times in that game because Wolves were just pushing forward and forward and forward and forward and forward and forward. And yes, their offside goal was offside, but Martinelli getting sent off, we lost our heads and we got away with it. But we did deserve to win that time in the first tie against Wolves. But we can win this game. We can. And we're at home. We do well at home. The 12th men's behind us. But it's not just about the 12th men. It's just I want us to put a decent performance.
To be honest, I'm not really fussed about the performance as long as we win
this game. I really want to win this game.
Would you care about the performance if we won this game?
For me,
would you really care?
Mate, I wouldn't care about the performance, but what I will say is it would be nice to see a performance that kind of makes sense if I'm not making it sentence properly. So I would pretty much want to see a performance like that, because if Wolves, for me, they've got players who can punish us. They've got Neto back now, and he's going to be on good form. Yeah, it might take time for him to come back, but he's back now. You've got Raul Jimenez, you've got Dindonko, you've got Neves, you've got all these quality players around the pitch. And for me, we've got to be on it. And we've got players, we've got some individual players, and we can cause team problems. We've got Saka, we've got Smith Rowe, we've got Partey. Partey's done well in the last 2 games. So technically, let's see what we can do on Thursday. It all depends. It's a massive game now, right? But we just need to play our own game and just hope we can get the 3 points.
And that's the thing. And we just need and that's the thing. I think we have been doing that, though. We have been playing our own game. And I think we've been doing that quite well, despite what other teams have thrown at us. Especially when, like, that. And this is what makes me feel about confident against Wolves. When we went down to 10 men, we had to change the game plan. And for once, he changed the game plan and it worked. Like, I know we had to park the bus for the rest of the game, but that's all we could do. Yeah. And in the end, everyone did their job. Even the substitutes that came off the bench did their job. And as long as they're doing their job, that's not a problem, right? So, yeah, that's what makes me feel comfortable about this game, to be honest. That's why I'm, like, feeling the way I am about this. If I'm not mistaken. I'm sorry, I'm just quickly writing 1, 2, 3, 4, one more. Right. So just the next 5 games I'm writing down here in terms of yeah. So right. So if I'm looking at this right, in the next 5 games, right, if we look at Man United's games, they've got Atletico Madrid this week, then they've got Watford, then they've got Man City, then they've got Spurs, then they've got Atletico Madrid in the Champions League in second leg, then Liverpool and then Leicester. Right. Watford, do you think they'll win that game?
They'll beat Watford. Watford are trash.
You think they'll beat that game?
Yeah,
but they said about Burnley.
Yeah, I know, but Burnley is a difficult place to go to. You know what I mean? So Watford Watford for me, that's not really a difficult place to go to.
Well, it is at home. It is at home as well.
No, I'm only like the Old Trafford. So
what do you say, Stu?
Something like
Hi, though.
He's gone back. Watford. I mean, I saw there was an amazing stat about how the goals in Watford games as a whole have just completely flipped itself on its head since Hodgson went there. It went from something like 3 to now 0.1. I think they've got enough to beat Watford, though. I mean, I watched that game against Villa, and however hilariously fun it was watching Villa lose again. I can't see them. I can't see them doing much, really, to be honest.
Yeah, as much as I want them to, I don't see them. Hello. Right. Do you think you're gonna win against Arsenal?
It is football, yeah. Do you think we're gonna win?
Yeah.
Think you're gonna win? Yeah. No. So you're a Wolves fan then?
No
Sorry?
more. What?
Are you a fan?
Yeah.
Go on then.
Big up.
Yeah,
Big
I think
up,
they but to be fair to Watford, though, they did look much more organised.
Punishing him by being a Wolves fan.
His choice. I mean, my dad's a United fan, as I said before, so it was fully my choice.
Yeah, but then again, if you probably punish him if he was an Arsenal fan, to be honest. I'll give you that one. So, yeah, I'm just looking at West Ham have got Arsenal away. West Ham have got Wolves at home, then Southampton, then Liverpool, then Villa, then Spurs. Arsenal have got Wolves at home, Watford at home, I believe. Isn't it? It's Watford at home, isn't it? Yeah, no, Watford away. So that's away. Then we've got Leicester at home. Then we've got Liverpool at home. Then we've got Villa away in our next 5 games. So our runs in our next 5 games is probably half decent. We could beat Villa, I think. We'll beat Watford. I think we will beat Leicester as well. Wolves, I think, is the tricky game for us, and Liverpool, I don't think will win. So we could get 3, 6, 9. Let's say we draw against Wolves for maybe instance, to 10 points out of the game. Right, Watford, in terms of Man United, they'll beat Watford. That's 3. They'll lose to Man City, lose to Spurs, lose to Liverpool, and then they'll probably beat Leicester. So that's 6 points. So we gain 4 points on them. So this is what I'm saying. This is like it's very easy for our to quite easily keep us in the top 4 race for cert. This is what I'm saying is that even with Spurs, their games are Burnley, Leeds, Everton, Man United, Brighton. Those teams they need to be beaten. They need to beat all of those teams if they are to stay in this top 4 race.
And they've got Europe back as well soon.
Who? Spurs?
Oh, West Ham. That's talking about West Ham.
West Ham have got it. Yeah, I think West Ham have got it. When they got it? Oh, they got it. No, they got it next round, didn't they? They got it in round 16, didn't they? So, yeah. So, we've got Arsenal away. West Ham have got Wolves at home, Southampton away, Liverpool away. But yeah, so it's really tight and it's so tough to call. So this is why I'm saying you can't write Arsenal off, you can't write West Ham off, you can't write Wolves off, you can't even write Man United or Spurs off. None of them you can write off at the minute. You can't guarantee and say it's a guarantee off. Yeah, no worries. Luca, in terms of the lineup, what sort of lineup would you go for?
For me, I'd go for Ramsdale in goal. Tomiyasu, if he's fit. But if not, then I'd have to play Cedric.
Tomiyasu will be fit.
Huh?
Tommy will be fit.
Tommy would be the better option, got more chance of beating Wolves next
Tommy
time.
will be fit. Tommy will be fit.
Ben White, I go for. Gabriel, Kieran Tierney. Midfield, I'll go with Partey. Xhaka sitting. Xhaka's really got to step up against.
Well, he did. He did against both Wolves and Brentford, to be honest. Carry on.
I don't think he's going to have a good game against Wolves, but
Big up.
But Partey, Xhaka, Odegaard, Smith Rowe.
If there's any
Saka
questions, we'll
and
get to the
Martinelli.
end.
Smith Rowe, Saka, and Martinelli.
So hang on. So Saka is on the right.
Yep.
Right. Who's in the middle?
Martinelli up top, central forward.
Well, who's the cam?
Odegaard will be, and then Partey and Xhaka sitting.
Yeah, you forgot to mention Odegaard. That's why.
Odegaard,
Smith Rowe, and then Martinelli.
Yes.
So you wouldn't play Pepe in this game?
Only if Cedric starts. But I think Arteta will go with Cedric. I don't think he'll go with Tomiyasu, but we'll wait and see.
Oh, I think he will go with Tomiyasu because Tomiyasu will be fit. Right now, but this is what you would do. Don't worry about what Arteta's doing. What would you do? Would you play Cedric to play Pepe in this game?
If I really want Pepe to play,
it's your call. It's your call. You're the manager. It's your call.
Well, I'd be worse as a manager anyway. But anyway, as I was saying, it's hard to say really. I'd probably go with, if Cedric starts, I'd go with Pepe on the right. Because I feel those two can link up.
So you'd start Cedric?
not what I want. It's not who I want to start. I'd start with Tomiyasu mathematically, but if someone came around and said to me,
This is what I'm saying. If you want to play Pepe, do you want to start Cedric?
yes,
Right. So in that case, then Cedric.
but he's not. Pepe's not going to get played, and I'll be very surprised.
Yeah, but don't worry. I'm not worried about what Arteta's doing. I'm worried about what you want to do. What do you want to see? Right. Stu.
I would like. Wouldn't Tomiyasu and Pepe not work?
No, it won't because he's not. He doesn't overlap Tomiyasu.
No.
You've already seen it. Stu, what would you do?
I'd probably play. Maybe drop Pepe in this game. Then play him in the next one.
So you played Tomiyasu and Saka.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Tomiyasu anyway, Steven.
Luca, no, stop worrying about what Arteta's doing. What do you want to see?
Cedric and Pepe. There you go.
There you go. There, like that's what I'm after. I'm not like I know what Arteta's gonna do. I'm worried about what you want to do.
Yeah.
Big up, really enjoying the stream so far. Big up. I think Wolves can finish in the top 6. Do you agree with that? Finishing in the top 6 this season, Stu?
It wouldn't be beyond the realms of possibility. And we're not going to finish top 4. No way. Top 6, I think we've got every chance. Now we've got everyone back fit as well.
Yeah, big up everyone for hitting that like button. Really do appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed to the F1 channel, please do. Links in the chat somewhere, I believe it is. If not, I'll go pin it right now. And actually, I will do. I'll go pin it right now. I'll find it. But actually, I'll just quickly link. Subscribe to SFeatley. Pin message. Right, there you go. Pin that. So after 25 votes, 68% say no to starting Pepe. 36% say yes. I'm going to end that poll and we'll start another one in a minute. Right. Chris, I don't understand why Arsenal fans do not see top 4 as possible. I see it's possible. Whether we get it is another matter. I like F1 also. Big up, man. Yeah, we're live at 6:30 for the launch as well. So make sure you go over there. I do see it's a possibility.
I think that top 4 comment's pretty much the same that we're kind of feeling as well. That
yeah.
It's not just our own team's form; it's everyone else as well. And for us to go on some kind of spectacular run to get top 4, then you got to have top 4 form to get in there, and the others not to have it. And I think that's where I'm coming down from the fact that I don't see us having a run of wins, and which you're going to need. You can't just be 4 points here and there. I just don't see how we're going to go on a run and no one else do it at the same time. I think that's kind of probably what Arsenal fans are thinking as well. From what I've seen on Twitter so far.
I think everyone's doing it. Everyone's bottling it, and it's like no one wants it at the minute. So it's a group bottle job chasing for teams. So yeah, I know, man. Like I don't disagree on that one. No one seems to want it, but like I don't see why not. I'll put like literally who thinks gonna win this game. I'll put that as a poll. So make sure you go answer that poll now for us. It'd be really helpful. So yeah, where was I thinking? Yes, Stu, your lineup for Wolves. What would you do?
I think it'll be exactly the same as yesterday. So it'll be Sar, Semedo.
So Sar in goal.
Yeah, Sar in goal.
How do you spell that? Sorry.
SA.
Oh, just SA. Oh, I thought it was SAR or something like that.
It's SA with a little kind of thing on top of the A.
Okay.
Semedo, right wing back.
Semedo. Go on.
Kilman, Cody, Sait.
Kilman. Cody. Says this is as a 3 at the back, 3-5-2.
Yeah, it'd be 3-5-2. And then I think
5-2.
left wing back might be Marcel. I mean, I knew he got a bit of a knock yesterday, and
So-
he has tended to rest him a bit. So I think it might be Marcel at left wing back.
Marcel. Okay, then who?
Then Matinho, Neves, Dendonka in the middle.
Matinho, Neves, then Donka. Go.
And then Raul and Pedence up front.
Jimenez and Podence up front. Right, for me, it's going to be a 4-2-3-1 again. I don't think we're going to go more attacking. So the ramming goal. As much I would play Tommy at right back. Tomiyasu. White. Gabriel. Tierney. Xhaka Partey. Then I'd play Saka as a right. I'd play Smith Rowe on the left. Smith Rowe. I'd play Odegaard in the middle, and then I'd play Pepe up front. I'll play Pepe up front. I'll give Pepe up front again. Why not? You've got to try something different because it's not working up front. If we don't try something different, we're not going to score goals. So I'd take a risk. I'd play Pepe up front and have Martinelli on the bench as either an option to play on the wing or play up front. So we've got two options on the bench. It's like having two players in one. So that's what I would go with. And we'll move on to combined 11s quickly. There you go. All the way back. Foot bin 2022. Again, make sure you keep smacking that like button for us, guys. It really does help if you can do that. We're on 22 likes right now. If you haven't liked, please do so. It really would be a great help to us. So thank you. Would you play Pepe as a false 9? If I decide to play a 4-3-3 attacking, then I would. But if I'm playing 4-2-3-1, so I wouldn't. She got Odegaard in the holding role, in the attacking midfield role, so I wouldn't play him as a false 9. Well, no, he's disappeared. He disappeared for a minute there. I'm sure he might come back. He didn't say if he was going, but if he has to go, he has to go. But we'll carry on anyway. Right. So, goalkeeper. It's got to be Ramsdale for me. Ramsdale over Sarr. Luca, agree with that? Ramsdale over Sarr.
Ramsdale. Yeah, Ramsdale in goal. It's got to be over him. 100%.
Right, Ramsdale over Sarr. Right back options. I'll put Semedo in there.
We tried to have a poll on this on my channel. So do you go with Tomiyasu or do you go with Semedo?
I'll go Semedo. What would you guys go for, guys? Are you busy, Luca?
Sorry, what?
Hey, I'm just trying to ask if you're going for. We'll bring Steve because I'm struggling to hear you because you're doing something in the background. Anyway, Stu, I was gonna.
I'd go with Tomiyasu.
Okay, Stu, I'll ask you. Semedo, Tomiyasu's is probably the two that are called out for right on the right. Who would you go for?
If you're playing a back four,
If you're playing a back four,
this is the problem with any Wolves defense because we've not seen any of them in a back four ever.
Okay.
So Semedo, Tomiyasu's looked more assured and less crazy.
We played 5-3-2 before, I think, but it's not usually worked too well.
In a back four, I'd probably say Tomiyasu.
Okay. Because I think Semedo does well as a back four anyway.
Yeah, he plays in the back four for Portugal. But
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think he does better as a. So that's why I was suggesting putting him in there.
I mean, you could. I mean, I'm just basing it on what he's done for Wolves. So,
okay.
As an overall player, then probably yeah. But from a
that's
Wolves
one
point of
thing. What do you think, guys? Do you think you should put Semedo in there? Let me try and see if we get some opinions in the chat. Combined team, Kilman in, Benjamin White out, Kilman in. Yeah. Not what about Connor Cody static? Would you do Connor Cody? In my opinion, Wolves don't have the top four quality, and West Ham don't have the depth they are in Europe, and already suffering injuries. That's a good point. Very good point. Sarr, he would go with in goal. Would you agree with that? Would you put Sarr in goal over Tomiyasu?
I hadn't seen that you put Ramsdale.
Ramsdale. Sorry.
I would
you put Ramsdale in there, right?
just because of. I mean, his shot percentage saved. It's now on 86% of shots at him he's saved, which is quite ludicrous, really.
Is it Ramsdale or Sarr that he's done?
That's Sarr. I read that this morning.
So, who would you go?
I'd go with Sarr, and if we're going to do it without Wolves, based on the players as they are, I would say Sarr and Semedo.
Sarr, Ramsdale, because I've really been impressed with Ramsdale all season. To be honest,
yeah, I don't think there's much between them really. Ramsdale's distribution is probably better than Sarr's. Sarr hasn't got as many kind of ricks.
What about commanding in the box?
Yeah, Sarr's comes out further, and he's less likely to drop anything. But that comes with age. So it's a kind of either or with that one. I'll leave it as it is. I mean, if we're going back four with players,
one's put Sarr, one's put Ramsdale in the chat. So I'll leave that. I'll leave him in there, Ramsdale, but it's open. I think it's either one or the other. By the way, 43% say Wolves will win this game. 29% each for a draw and Arsenal. Wow, that's interesting. But let's move on to. If my picture, by the way, quality is not great, then I do apologise. I might let me just see if it's my settings on here. Oh no, it's just I'm watching it with poor quality in the background. Because I usually play it the stream behind me so I can keep an eye on the chat and stuff. So, but yeah, what am I doing? Yes, right. Gabriel, would you put Gabriel in there?
Yeah,
I think Gabriel's been brilliant this season.
Yeah, I was really impressed with him. Like I said when I was on here before, I think he was man of the match by an absolute mile at Molineux.
Yeah, plus if my mate Marty was in here, he'd be putting out his case in as his defence lawyer. You know what I mean? He is his look at him. Like, did you know they actually met once upon a time? Do you know? So yeah, like any if it's Martinelli, if it's Gabriel, like even Edu one time, he said he liked Edu at one point. Then I kept saying no, he's a fraud. He's a fraud. Right, and after the last transfer window, he finally agreed with me. He's a fraud. And I'm like, yeah, mate. I said, I know I know he might be from Brazil, but I'm sorry, he's a fraud. He's a fraud. Like just like anyone else, he's a fraud. Like the rest of them in the boardroom. But yeah, Cody or Kilman. Static's gone for Kilman in the chat. I've noticed. Please do keep by voting on the poll, by the way. Yeah, both goalkeepers are great. White and Cody at the back, in my opinion. White and Cody. No, not White. No. You're trolling. You got to be trolling. No. I'm not having White. Like here you go. My White agenda's coming out now. Like, Kilman instead of Cody. Would you go with that?
100%. Kilman's been our player of the year.
Kilman, right?
And he can play either side as well.
Okay, and then left is Tierney.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, as much as I like
Hey, trust me, you won't get him in. I'm his defence lawyer. Okay, I'm part Scottish, so he's my defence lawyer. I'm his defence lawyer permanently. That's my guy. Let's move to the DM role. I was thinking Neves and Partey.
Yeah. 100% agree. Yeah. 100%.
Which way round? Does Neves prefer the left or the right side?
He's normally on the right. I mean, he played centrally yesterday, but if it's Neves and Moutinho together as a two, Neves is on the right.
Arteta doesn't really care. He just puts them in there.
That's kind of why he's performed so well, because they've both had their own set side, and they're just Whereas under Nuno, it was
it's very important though. It is very important because it like if you're trying to receive the ball, if you're like left-footed, you want to be on the left side because it's easier to receive the ball and pass the ball on and quickly. Whereas if you're on the right side, you'd have to take a touch, turn, and it slows the play down. So yeah, on the right, Saka, Pepe. Traore's gone, isn't he? He left the club, didn't he?
Thank God.
Yeah. Someone called him the juiced up Awobi one time. So, who would you go for?
Neto. No, he's back.
Neto. Okay. Who says Neto? Who says Saka? Right.
I know Saka's going to win this anyway, but he did. To be fair to Neto, he came back in his little cameo yesterday. He looked like nothing had happened to him, despite being out for 10 months with a broken kneecap, which is obviously not nice.
Kilman is now 78 in FIFA. Big upgrade. Yeah, definitely. Neto and Podence. Do you know what? I'll give you that one. I'll give you that because like Saka's been poor recently. Right? And do you know why? And this is why I say I want to play Pepe more often, because I think he's getting too comfortable. You know when players get too comfortable, that they start dropping in performance. That's what's happening because he's played since lockdown 2020 to now. I don't think he feels he's ever going to get dropped. So I know he's a good player. He's very talented. I think he needs the time out to just not rest, but I think he needs the time to like say, "Oh shit, I need to fight for this position." You know what I mean? Yeah. On the left.
We haven't. I know people are saying Podence after yesterday, but his numbers have been poor, and he hasn't. I mean, as I said earlier, it was his best performance of the season.
For me, man.
Yeah, Smith Rowe.
Over Martinelli?
Yeah. From what I've seen, I'd get Smith Rowe.
I think both of them deserve a shout, but that's why I put them in there. Actually, do you have a cam?
No, we don't have any at all.
You don't have any cam?
Odegaard. I would have said Odegaard there.
I would have put Smith Rowe there and put Martinelli on the left. I think Martinelli's played better than Odegaard. That's why I was doing it.
Oh, okay. You can put Martinelli there. You can put Martinelli there anyway because we've got Hwang Ki-chan who's very hot and cold, really.
Yeah, but Martinelli's never been good in centrally, to be honest, unless he's a striker. So Martinelli, like on the left for me, and then up front it's got to be Jimenez.
Yeah, probably. I mean, again, though, he got an assist yesterday, but his overall game was pretty awful. Again,
It's better than Knackers, mate. Trust me.
Yeah, that's why he's waiting to explode on the scene again properly, and bit of poetic justice if he comes on Thursday night.
Let me see what people are saying. Fair enough, and it was my mistake. Kilman 77 ESR. Odegaard is the cam. Come on, Steven. I know, man. I just I feel Smith Rowe's played better over the season. That's why I did that. Like, if I'm going by it, and he can play in the middle as well. I know most of his performances have been on the left, but he has played century as well and been just as good. So, yeah. Big up, Stephen. I'm at work. Can't join the stream. Don't worry, man. Stephen, though, you have to include ESR. That's the thing. Like, I could drop Martinelli and put Smith on the left and put Odegaard in the centre. But I don't know. But I'd keep it as it is, to be honest, if I'm being honest. But that's pretty balanced, to be honest. Between Wolves and Arsenal, because Tomiyasu, to be fair, you could quite easily swap him in for Semedo if you really wanted to. So you've had 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You could have 5 positions there, and we could have 6. Where it's 7 and 4.
Yeah, and you could
easily put
Ramsdale.
in. Yeah. So it's quite balanced, to be honest. Large is going in there. Yeah, Bruno Large is the manager. I don't give a crap what anyone says. Bruno Large is the manager. Bruno Large is manager. Do you know what's funny is that like all these people that are Arteta in, they've gone all disappeared. Where's Drake Slicer? He was giving it all the big one about like how great Arsenal are and that I have to believe, I need to do this, and do you know what I mean? They've all disappeared. I think they're getting worried that they're not getting top 4. Martinelli puts pressure on defences but doesn't score. ESR but less pressure on defences but scores. Can wait. I hear that point. I hear you. Don't waste the tweet. I do hear you. I'll say it's a toss up between the two. You could quite easily do it both ways if you really wanted to. So for that part, I let you decide what you want to do, because I won't say that's guaranteed fact, and it's just probably more personal preference than anything. But yeah, that's it. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat very quickly. I can't believe this freaking green screen. I ain't got a green screen in the back of me. It's working. I can't believe this. It's mad. It's actually mad. So, because look, if you look at the background, look. And all of a sudden it just starts working. I don't know how. It's mad. That's all right though. Nice. But yeah. I mean, in the end, where do you think Wolves will finish?
I still think. I mean, in my heart, I'd say 6th. Just as an improvement on the Nuno years, and just for what Lage has done this season, which has been quite remarkable, given the resources he's had. But I just think there's teams with overall more experience and squad depth. But even though we've got everyone back fit now, which is a miracle, I just think the experience is going to come into it a bit more. And we are still a bit naive sometimes, even though defensively we're ridiculously sound. We don't score enough goals. And I think that's going to be on our undoing in the end. So realistically, I'd probably say where we are now, 8th. And that still wouldn't be a bad season whatsoever.
Do you feel though, and I'll ask Christian before I bring Static on, I'll just quickly ask this. Do you feel that Large could be, if they give him the money in the summer, he could try and push even higher again if they give him the right resources and give him the money to go get a proper striker, replace Jimenez, improve the squad depth? Do you feel that then you could push even more and try and really push for that? Like higher slots. It depends on what other teams do. If the big six do invest well, like Man United did, I mean, hopefully this time they actually back up their talk. But like, do you see that you can push even further and really push these teams to the limit?
I think he's shown enough, and himself has grown as a manager throughout the season. I mean, we were all full at Palace away early on in the season, and we couldn't buy a win at times. But then he's kind of abandoned his own principles of playing a back four, going 4-4-2 with inverted wingers and fullbacks, and like he did at Benfica, to come here and play with a system of a back five, because that's who we've played with the back five for 4 years. And he said himself that that's the players know this system. There's no point changing them. We need to change. We need to bring different people in and have a pre-season in a back four. So for what he's done for the team already, with the same players that didn't really underperform under Nuno last year, I think he deserves a bit of money to spend to bring his own people in. Because other than Sarr, I mean, Sarr replacing Patricio was incredible business for half the price of what we sold him for. And then you got Hwang, who hasn't been bought yet, but it will be in the summer for 14. Again, we don't go for the stars, big stars, because we can't afford it. Regardless of what Fosun are, we don't do that. I mean, Raul Jimenez was a no one before he came here. He was a sub. So I still don't think we will go and spend massively. I mean, we might see 20, 30 million probably. But other than that, I don't see us splashing the cash like Villa, like Coutinho, with the silly wages there. It's just not the Wolves' way, and it's worked so far. So I do think he deserves a chance. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, big up. I want to introduce Don't Waste the Tweet to the streams. First time he's been on SFeatleyTV. And glad to have you on.
Thanks for having me.
And big up for the messages you've been sending us on Twitter. Really appreciate the support as well. So, but yeah, what do you want to say, mate?
Yeah, I was just, like I said, I was looking at the front four, and I kind of felt I went back and looked at the game, because yesterday or Saturday when I watched the game, you didn't even notice Erdegaard as much. And then when I went back and looked at it, he's definitely putting in some work there. Little things that he's doing. I mean, we've set up a lot of chances for us in the game. We just couldn't finish. So, and I think Milsworth Rowe isn't haven't seen that from him as often. Of course, he's been out wide because of Arteta's preference to put Erdegaard in there. And when he's set in his ways, he always does that, right? He doesn't change regardless. Yeah. So I just don't see Erdegaard getting pushed out of there as a cam, even though I expected them both to be able to interchange, but he doesn't do that, right? So
no, of course not. I'm interested on, because I don't know what's your take on Arteta and the situation with Arteta at the minute. Where do you feel that? Where do you see? Do you feel that Arsenal there shouldn't be any excuses to try and get top four with the way we are right now?
There shouldn't be any excuses, but the January window doesn't show me that they're actually interested or ambitious to get top four, because I think they needed to bring in somebody or keep some of the players that they let go, one of the two, because depth was going to be an issue, I feel. Especially, I mean, just think about that 3-game stretch that we have with Liverpool in the middle. I mean, we can't play the way we usually do for 3 games in a 6-day stretch, so that's going to be a test for us. But yeah, no, I expected us to bring somebody in. We know we need goals up top, and we're not trying to put anybody new in there, and we're just going with the same old thing, right? Lacazette and Kedia, and we get 0 from them, all right? So so it's there. it's there. We should take the advantage, take the chance when we have it. We're not doing that, so that's going to be I think a big issue for us going forward. But we'll see. We've been lucky so far. We've had some opportunities, and we've been able to pull through and get wins in the last 2 matches, right? So let's see. I mean, I like the idea, Martinelli coming back, but I feel like Martinelli, Saka, and Emil Smith-Rowe, they kind of need to rotate in and out the lineup anyways. I kind of feel like we can't depend on them as much as we have in the past. Maybe even to some degree, Erdegaard can also rotate around so we can actually keep them fresh, because they're just going to wear down towards the end of the season when we probably will need those points to secure whatever position we have. I can see us those players just wearing down, and we're in trouble at the end of the last month or so of the season when we can't play them or they just don't perform. So yeah, it's gonna. That's the issue with the way that we've done, our business, letting go players and not bringing in any players. I mean, I'll find it hard to believe there was nobody we could bring in, not even for 6 months.
I don't believe that for a second. If people are saying that that's the case, then I don't believe them, because it doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. I mean, surely that we shouldn't really try and we shouldn't be having any excuses anymore with the way things are. We should be getting top 4. With the position we're in, we've got a fantastic opportunity, and we should be making the most of it.
Oh, I agree 100%. There's no excuses by Arsenal. I mean, the fact that every week everyone's winning games, drawing games, and losing games. There's no consistency from everyone at the moment for a consistent run of winning games consecutively. So, I mean, I think Arsenal went through this before with Unai Emery a few seasons ago, but they missed out on the top 4 by 1 point. So it's like nobody wants 4th place. So. Yeah, it's a good opportunity for Arsenal. So, but the feeling I'm getting is the players want top 4. They want Champions League, but Arteta, he doesn't seem to care because, well, he said recently, but then he seems to change his mind again that, I want top 4. No, I don't want top 4. So it's just, I don't listen to his opinion anymore. But all I can see is, for what I see, is the players definitely want to get Arsenal to finish in the top 4, but Arteta,
I think you saw that. With the way they were playing against Wolves the other day, and how they were defending, and how they were sort of grinding out the win. I think I was really impressed with the last 20 minutes of that game, because I think in previous times we would bottle it and we would fall apart after sending off. We'd lose our heads. So I was kind of impressed that it was kind of like we learnt from the City game in a way, where we just learnt from the mistake of not using the red card to lose focus on what we've got at hand and the task we had at hand. So that was nice in a way. Stu, and I'll ask you this because we're going to go to score predictions now. What do you think the score is going to be? And lastly, where do you think Wolves will finish in the league?
I think it'll be 1 each. I think it'll be close again, like it was in the first game. I was going to say though, what you were saying about the resilience in that last period of the game after you went down to 10 men, that's probably the most committed Arsenal performance I've seen in about 10 years, and that's from the outside looking in. I haven't seen anything like it. There was bodies on the line. You don't get this from Arsenal. They roll over and die. This is not fair.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I think it'll be 1 each, and I think we'll probably finish 8th, like I said earlier. I think it'll just get a bit too much for us, just from a pure experience point of view. But I think there'll be a few. There won't be many points in it. I think that gap from 8th down now to Brighton, I think that there's enough there for it's like a top 8 onwards now, going forward, and it's just who finishes where. But I think we'll probably be the ones who finish lowest by a couple of points here and there. I don't think there's going to be like 4-point gap in between each position. I think it'll go down to the death. and I think we'll probably just miss out on just lack of goals.
Yeah, I hear that completely. It's just the depth. I think that's the same with West Ham as well. King say it's gone with a 1-0. Don't waste a tweet. What's? Do you mind me asking what your real name is?
It's Gary.
Gary. Gary. How? It just sounds. It just sounds better, right? Than
No problem. No problem.
but yeah. What's
Boys.
your score going to be? What's your
Boys,
prediction?
sorry to interrupt. I'm losing signal. I predict 1-0 as well as Stu. And now I leave. Goodbye.
All right, it's
Alright.
your signal again, isn't it? Yeah,
Headache.
it's Mikel Arteta settings all over again. You know what I mean? Like, and he's got to put the 50p in the meter. But yeah, Gary, what would you go as a scoreline?
You know what?
And would you get? And do you think Arsenal can get top 4?
Yeah, I thought because of the way that the Wolves were playing and their scoring was low that we would be able to, get more opportunities and score and get the win in the last match. And we were lucky to get the goal we did. And I think Wolves would have been happy with a 0-0 draw there. And they play much better on the road. So Tomiyasu is back, so I think our defense will be a lot more solid if he's back playing. So I think that'll make it even harder for Wolves, which should hopefully mean it's easier for us to move up the pitch and get something out of the match. Maybe we get that goal in open play as opposed to a set piece. So that would be nice to be able to do something like that where we can actually score a goal on them, and maybe we can squeak at the 1-0 win. I'm actually guessing that it'll be a 2-1 win. I think we have the opportunity to do that. We're gonna have either Martinelli or Milsrif Rowe on the bench or Saka on the bench to come in and maybe change the pace. So I think that'll be good for us to have that. So I'm confident, I guess, that we can do this. We need to, if we have goals. If the team, like you said, is ambitious and wants to get that 4th place, and they've been playing like it. I think we've seen a lot of times Arsenal playing down a man and actually playing pretty well. So I think, if they could do that same kind of effort with 11 players,
remember?
Yeah.
We did that with Aubameyang, if people remember as well. So look, I feel with Arsenal, I feel don't worry, that's not liquor. It's just that's a can of Coke that we put in there, so it's all good. Anyway, I feel with Arsenal, I feel that it will be a scrappy game again. It won't be a nice one to watch. It will probably be sleepwalking after the game as well, because you'll be knackered from it. But I do feel if we get an opportunity, we'll probably sneak a goal. It could just end up being a goalless draw, to be honest. If I was going to be pessimistic, I'd say a goalless draw. If I was optimistic, I'd say a 1-0 win. So I'd say a 1-0 win, just to be a bit optimistic. So I want to try and, if people want to say I'm negative, even though I'm being negative because I want us to actually get top 4, win the league, if you know what I mean. But I go for a 1-0 win on that side for me. So it's gonna either way. It's not gonna be a nice game to watch. It really ain't. So which is nice after coming back from the hospital on a Thursday, which is gonna be great. It's gonna be nice. So I'm probably more likely wanting to actually go to sleep rather than actually watch the game. It was like watching a soap opera ending on the next episode. Definitely, mate. Definitely. Is there anything else that anyone wants to mention? Gary, there was a lot of talk about Xhaka's actions at the end of the Brentford game with the armband. I gave him the benefit of the doubt because it was more like, oh, it's not to me, it goes to Tierney. That's how it looked like. And I'm definitely not a Xhaka fan. Let's put it that way. If he said he was leaving for Spain, I'd pack his bags and take him to the airport, and wouldn't even charge for a fee. But oh no, I would charge a fee. I'd charge an apology to the fans. That was it. But yeah, what I will say is that how did you make that out? Did you see any malice in that, or is that just fans trying to clutch at something that's not there?
And there's multiple ways to think of it. It's just that's just been this Arsenal, right? We just cannot do things cleanly, right? I mean, before the game, you would think, all right, the armband, the captains for the game are going to be, Lacazette and then Tierney. Done. Everybody knows it. We go into the match, Lacazette comes off, the armband goes to whoever's the next captain. Either Nketiah. Think about this. That's Nketiah for you. If he knew or didn't know, that's just kind of that's how he's been playing. We want him to do some things pretty, that he's supposed to be able to do, and he can't do that. He ended up putting the armband on, which I thought was funny, and then taking it back off, and then giving it to Tierney after all of that. But I think that's just the way Arsenal is right now. We are a little bit unorganized sometimes, and that just showed there. I mean, initially I was like, why is Xhaka turning away the armband? I'm like, it's always drama with him, and it doesn't even, it's not even his fault sometimes, but it's always drama,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. Mate, I think it's because people are just so fed up with him. He's had 2 contracts for literally doing F4 when you've had players like Guendouzi, for example, who has 1 incident on the pitch and he gets shafted out of the team. People might say he has an attitude problem, but sometimes I look at it this way with players like Guendouzi, and I don't compare him to Roy Keane because Roy Keane is obviously much better than him, I'd say. But what I will compare it to is the fact that, because of that attitude he has on the pitch, it's one of those, I don't care who you are, I'm going to kick you up in there if you go near me. Like, it's one of those attitudes on the pitch you need there, like that aggressiveness to sort of dominate the game and dominate the midfield. Because sometimes you get players like that dominate the game because they basically bully you off the ball. And that's sort of what I would like to see from Guendouzi. And I think, to be honest, if you look back on it, that was sort of what the incident was really about. Yeah, there was some parts of it that you probably shouldn't have said, but it was like being that dominant force in the box. And like the fact you get shafted out for that 1 incident, and yet, and I made him right, he weren't going to apologise, because he saw Granit Xhaka do something that's 10 times worse, and he doesn't have to apologise, and he gets a bloody new contract at the same time. So there's loads of ways of looking at it. Let's just say I'm not sitting here and this is why I say, like, when I heard the other day that someone was saying that Arteta's man management was brilliant, and his how he handled Aubameyang was brilliant. What I heard the other day, and I heard this it was on a big channel as well, and the rivals were just laughing their heads off. You gotta be prepared. Just make sure you hold your chair because you're gonna fall off it. He said because Arsenal, in his first 100 games, he's got a 54% win record. Apparently, that's about 3%, 4% more than Arsene Wenger. So in his mind, that makes him a better manager than Arsene Wenger, right? And he said, and even before someone said, yeah, but you finished 8th twice, what does that mean? Which is what the Liverpool fan said. Before he even had a chance to say that, he said, if given the chance and he had the chance to have the 1998 squad, for example, he didn't even name any top players from that squad. He couldn't tell who actually Coleman Overmars were from which squad. This shows just how much he knows about Arsenal, to be honest. But when for example, when he sits there and he sat there and he went, if he had the 98 squad, he would have won the Champions League the next season.
It's a thought, I suppose.
Well, bear in mind that the next season, guess who went and won the treble? Man United. And I sat there and I'm like, this, I give up. This is why our fan base is done. This is why we're done as a football club. I'm sorry that I know everyone has their opinion. They're entitled to their opinion, but that needs professional psychiatric help. It does. It seriously does. I'm just gonna leave that right where it is, and leave that with everyone. But on this lovely afternoon, let everyone sit on that. We're gonna leave it there. Stu, great to have you on again, mate. It's been a
No problem.
pleasure. Gary, it's nice to have you finally on SFeatleyTV.
Thank you for having me.
And definitely, if you ever want me to come on your channel sometime, I'm more than welcome to. You can always shoot us a DM for anything, anytime. And where can they find you first, Stu?
I never get this right, do I? That's
No one does.
on Twitter. You'd think by now, after doing this for the best part of 7 years, you kind of get where things are on the screens. Studio 4Z on Twitter, at WolvesFancast on Twitter, Instagram, everywhere else, and
Wicked.
YouTube, of course.
Wicked. And Gary, where can I find you, my friend?
Yeah, so right there is my Twitter handle. Steven, thank you for having me on. Stu, it was good chatting with you. Hope you have a good game, but not that good. All right. And everybody in chats, thank you. Yeah, you can find me on DWTT channel, DWTT ARSWOL in the search. I should come up first. Actually, if it's okay, tonight is my show that I've been doing on Mondays.
Yeah, go for it, man.
So I'm starting it up on my channel now. It used to be on the Red Cannon, but it's actually on my channel now. So on Mondays, 7:30 p.m. in the US, but it's 12:30 a.m. for you guys in the UK. So it's a little late, but check it out if you can.
I'm usually up all night, so if you need a late one, so just shoot us something. I'll jump on for now. It's got nothing else to do at that time of night. You know what I mean? I think we mentioned everyone's score predictions. Did Stu? Did you mention your score prediction?
Yeah. I had the same static 1-1.
Yeah, 1-1.
I got 2-1. I'm optimistic here that we're going to be able to score 2 goals.
Yeah. Oh God.
What? The one thing that I can say is that after we played Wolves, they went out and scored. I don't know. They scored like 4 goals after that. So, the scoring that they didn't seem to have. They actually, I don't know if we lit a fire under them or what, but they looked pretty good scoring in the next 2 games. So, hopefully we can slow them down again.
Yeah, hopefully we can stop it. But make sure to obviously you subscribe, like and subscribe to SFeatleyTV. I'm live at 6:30 on SFeatley F1, which is doing the Alpine car launch. So make sure you go and sub to that. We're getting on the road to 100 subs, hopefully by the start of the season, which will be the 18th of March. So if you like F1, you want to give a sub, make sure you sub. Do bear in mind, I am a biased Hamilton fan. I try and be objective, but I do hate Max. There you go, man. There we go. There we go. Like, all I'm saying is that I will be objective, and if he does wrong, I do call it out. But you'll find me hating Red. Not really Max, really. It's more Red Bull and Christian Horner, to be honest. If you want to go check that out, make sure you go and check that out at 6:30. We're back also at 9 p.m. on this channel as well with Champions League and Europa League predictions tonight, which will be a fun stream to do. So if you fancy coming on tonight, do DM us and we'll get you on. Make sure you do that. Join the membership below. Hit the join button. It's from as little as $1.99 a month for level 1 members. Level 2 members, $4.99 a month. You get great access to loads of perks such as members only live streams and stuff like that. And then obviously level 3, which is the Featley Legend, where you get every single perk available. So yeah, if you want to go and check that out, hit the join button. It's a monthly donation to all the money that's donated goes to Children's Liver Disease Foundation. So yeah. Dictator Steven in his prime. Shut up, you. Honestly, we'll talk later. Anyway, make sure you hit the like, share, subscribe. Make sure you sub to this lot, to these guys as well, and we'll see you guys soon.